This is the review for Unit 11 for Mrs. Dudo's Algebra 1 class. You should have your topics 11-1 and 11-2 assembled so that you can use them on the review itself. You also need to turn in the inequality matching activity to the substitute. At this time, I'm going to have the substitute pause the recording, and then if you have questions over a particular problem, the substitute can fast forward to that particular problem in the review, and you can listen to how it is completed. Otherwise, you are to work on your own. You may work with a partner. Make sure you check your answers on the back that are given to you in scrambled order. If you can't find that answer, that means you must have done something wrong. You may use your spiral and you may use your topics. Problem number 1, we want to graph the inequality y is less than 2x. This is already in slope-intercept form. So from here, we know that our slope is equal to 2. And since there's nothing added on the end, that means our y-intercept, or the beginning, is 0. It's starting at the origin. The inequality tells us it's less than, not equal to, so that means it's going to be a dashed line and it's going to be shaded below. So we'll start at the beginning of 0, 0. Our slope is 2. Let's make it look like a fraction, 2 over 1, so that is up 2 to the right 1, 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 up 2 to the right 1. Starting at the origin, down 2 to the left, down 2 to the left. Connect my dots with a dashed line, and then it's shaded below, so we'll start at the y-intercept, and from the y-intercept I need to go below the y-intercept, so I'm going to shade below. Number 2, we want to graph the inequality. This one we need to get into slope-intercept form, so we have to get the y by itself. So y blank x plus blank. The last blank we'll put in a negative 12. The number in front of the x is originally a positive 4. We cross the line, change the sign, becomes a negative 4. And I should have boxed in my negative 3 with the y, so we divide by the number that's in the box. Notice this time we're dividing by a negative number, so since I am dividing by a negative, that means my inequality has to change or switch. So now instead of being less than, it is now greater than. We'll rewrite this. Y is greater than or equal to negative 4 divided by negative 3 is a positive 4/3, and then negative 12 divided by negative 3 is a positive 4. So from this, we know our slope is a positive 4/3. Our y-intercept is a positive 4 or 0, 4. And then because it's greater than or equal to, this is going to be a solid line. And it's greater than, so therefore it is shaded above. So in graphing, start off at our beginning, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, up 4. Have our beginning point. Our slope is 4/3, so it'll be up 4 to the right 3. So up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 to the right 3. 1, 2, 3, we have another point. Do the opposite to go down 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 to the left 3, 1, 2, 3. Down 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 to the left 3. Down 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 to the left 3. This is being connected with a solid line. And then my shading is above, so it'll be above that. Again, starting with the y-intercept, I'm going to go above it. Problem 3, which inequality best represents the graph? Based upon the graph, I see that I have a dotted line. That means it will not be an equal to. And it is shaded above. That tells me we will have a greater than. So immediately we can omit A, and we can also omit C, because it should be greater than. Next, we're going to look at our beginning point. Okay, it starts at the 2. I'll look at B. Beginning point is 2. Beginning point is 2. Lastly, we're going to look at the slope. So I'm going to look at the slopes that are given. B says the slope is -2, 3. That means I should be able to go down 2 and to the right 3 and stay on the line. So I'm going to go down 2 from my beginning point, 1, 2, to the right 3, 1, 2, 3, and yes, I am on the line. So B is my correct answer. I could check, just to be sure, by looking at D. Again, its slope is a -3/2, so that's down 3 to the right 2. So let's see what that looks like. Down 3 from my beginning point is 1, 2, 3, to the right 2, 1, 2. Notice that point is not on the line, so no, D is not my answer choice. 4, which inequality best represents the graph shown? This one has a solid line, so we know that our inequality must have a line underneath it. That means C is out and B is out because they do not have an equal sign underneath the line. The other thing we see that it is shaded below, therefore since it's solid and shaded below, it should be less than or equal to. So my answer is D, and I haven't even figured out what the slope of the y-intercept is. A is gone. We'll check though. Our y-intercept is -1. That is true. Our slope is +3, so that'd be up 3 and to the right 5. Let's check. Up 3, 1, 2, 3, to the right 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And yes, that will give me another point on the line. So number 4 is D. Number 5, we want to use the grid to graph and then find the coordinate points that represent the solution to the inequality. So I have a less than. The less than sign tells me this is dashed because it's not equal to, and it's shaded below because it is less than. Our equation, I have a 1 in front of the x, so the slope is 1, and our y-intercept, or b, is 0, 4. So we're going to start at the beginning of 0, 4. Our slope is 1, so this is the same as 1 over 1, so we go up 1 to the right 1. Since our slope is positive, we should end up with an increasing line. It is dashed, so connect my dots with dashes. It's shaded below. We're going to be below. And now looking at the points. We'll start off with A. A is at -8, +2. Notice this point is not in the shaded area, so A is not correct. B is a +2, 0. This point is in the shaded area, so it is a solution. Let's check C. C is -2, +2. That point is on the line, and the line is dashed, meaning we do not include the line, so C is not a correct one. And in 0, 6, again, we can see that D is outside of the shaded area, so yes, my correct answer is B. Number 6, which inequality best describes the graph? Again, we see a dashed line, and it is shaded above my y-intercept. So dashed and shaded above means it has to be greater than. That means A is possibility, C, no good, or sorry, B is no good, C is no good, D is a possibility. Let's look at the beginning point, or the y-intercept. We are starting at 5. Both A and D start at 5. Now we're going to use our slopes. So the slope that's given, both of them are negative, and yes, we do have a decreasing line, so they're both still good. But A says I'm going to go down 3 and to the right 4. So let's start at our y-intercept and go down 3, 1, 2, 3, to the right 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. This puts me inside the shaded area, not on the line itself. So A is no good. Let's check D. D says down 4, to the right 3. So starting at our y-intercept, down 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, to the right 3, 1, 2, 3. And we have a point that's on the line, so D is correct. Number 7, it's from a previous unit. We're going to write the linear function that includes the points 2, -6, and -1, 3. Anytime you're given 2 points, these are x values and y values, we can set up a table. with our x and y values. So our first point's to -6, and second point's -1, 3. And now anytime that we have a table of values, we can use our stat by putting our x's into L1 and our y's into L2. We'll go to stat. We're going to edit L1 and L2. We need to clear out. So that is up arrow, clear, press enter. L1 we put in 2 and -1. L2 we're putting in -6 and +3. Then we hit the stat button again, go over to calc, choose number 4 for linear regression, scroll down to calculate and press enter. We see that a is equal to -3 and b is equal to 0, so our equation is y equals, instead of a we're putting in -3, put our x and then +0 for b. And since it's +0 on the end, we do not need to show it. So y equals -3. Number 8, which equation describes a line that has a y-intercept of -2, that's our b value, and a slope of 1/3, that's our m value. So we're looking for something that has a 1/3 x minus 2. That answer is D. Where does the function 4x plus 3y equals 24 cross the y-axis? This is just another way of asking what's the y-intercept. So we need to get our equation in y equals form. Y equals blank x plus blank. 24 drops down. 4x cross the line. We're going to change the sign, becomes a -4x. And then we will divide by 3. So our y-intercept is the number that's on the end, the 24 divided by 3. So b is equal to 24 divided by 3, which is 8. So y-intercept is 0, 8, written as an ordered pair. Which of the following is true about the graph of a horizontal line? Horizontal line, you remember the HOI. Some may remember the HOI. And then the HOI, that middle letters O, like a 0, that tells you the slope. So our slope is 0. That answers A. If you're not sure, let's draw a picture of a horizontal line. So here's our y-axis, our x-axis. Horizontal line goes like the horizon, left to right. Notice it only crosses the y-axis, and then it does have a slope of 0. If I do rise over run, it doesn't go up any, but I can go over any kind of number, and 0 divided by 2 is 0. So it doesn't run parallel to x equals y. It is not undefined because I do have a slope, and it does have a y-intercept because it is crossing the y-axis. So A is our correct answer. Number 11, what's the equation of a line with a slope of -1/3? So m equals -1/3, passing through the point. Here's our x and y. We're using y equals mx plus b. Y is -9. The slope is a -1/3. X is a +6, and then plus b. We need to solve for b. So we have -9. -1/3 times 6 is a -2. I would put that in calculator. Plus b. To get the b by itself, we're going to add 2 to both sides. And we'll get that b is equal to a -7. So the equation, given our slope and our y-intercept, is now y equals -1/3 times x, and then -7 for our beginning. Number 12, what is the equation of the line that is undefined slope and passes through the point 4, -1? If you recognize the undefined slope, this is our vux. It means it is a vertical line, undefined slope, and it's x equals. So looking back at our point, x has to go through 4. Our equation is x equals 4. For the visual, again, if we draw our just a little graph. Here's our y-axis, x-axis. I'm looking for a line that passes through 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, -1. Here's my 4, -1. And it is an undefined slope, meaning it has to go up and down to be undefined. And so I can see it is crossing my x-axis at -4. 13. What is the slope of the line given? Pick any 2 points. Make sure that they are crossing in the crosshairs. Let's start with the x-intercept. And let's use, first of all, notice that this is a positive slope line. So if it's positive slope, A and D are gone. Now all we have left is C and B. Let's use the points or use the answers as given. C says I should go up 1 to the right 2 and I should be on the line. If I go up 1 and to the right 2, I am not on that line, so C doesn't work. B, if the slope is 2, that's like having 2 over 1, so that's up 2 to the right 1. Let's check. Starting at a point, going up 2 to the right 1, and sure enough, it is on the line. B is our correct answer. The x-intercept and the y-intercepts of the line shown. Remember the x-intercept, I'm going to have some number for x, but y will be 0. The y-intercept, x is 0, and I'll have some number for y. So just based upon that, we can get rid of C and D because C and D both have the x-intercept with the zeros in the wrong spot and the y-intercept with the zeros in the wrong spot. Now let's look. It is crossing the x-axis at -2, so our x-intercept is -2. Y-intercept is crossing at +4. Y-intercept is +4, so B is our correct answer. What is the equation of the line shown in the graph? The equation of the line shown in the graph, I know from 13 that the slope is equal to 2. I know from 14 that the b, or the y-intercept, is equal to 4. So my equation is y equals 2x plus 4, which is B. 16. What is the slope of the line represented by the equation? In order to get the slope, we need it in y equals form. So we're going to solve this for y. Let's put our box around the y. I'll remember this time. Blank x plus blank. The 12 drops down in the last slot. 6x, cross the line, change the sign, becomes a -6. And then we divide by the number in the box, so we're dividing by 4. The slope is the number in front of the x, so it's -6 over 4, which reduces to -3 over 2. 17. Which of the following lines has an x-intercept of 2 and a y-intercept of -2? So x-intercepts where it crosses the x-axis. If I go on A, x-intercept of 2, that line is not touching that. B or C, x-intercept is 2, so x-intercept works. B, x-intercept of 2 does not work. D, x-intercept at 2, it does work. So now my choices are down to C and D. Y-intercept of -2, on C, y-intercept of -2, that is not on the line. D, y-intercept of -2, this one is on that line, and so the correct answer is D. Number 18, what is the rate of change for the line y equals -2? Notice y is the only variable that's in there, so here's a HOI. HOI means it's a horizontal line, so I can draw that. Here's my y value, or y-axis, x-axis. I want it -2. It's going to go through. We can see the rate of change is just another way of asking for slope, and this has a slope of 0. So our answer is D. Number 19, we're given Chris borrowed money from her mom to pay for her prom dress. The table shows the remaining balance of Chris's loan after each payment that she makes to her mom, which equation expresses the function. I'm going to change this to a vertical one where we have number of payments. That's our X. And then loan balance is going to be our Y. So with one payment, balance is 200. We'll go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 2 goes with 180, 3 goes with 160, 4 goes with 140, 5 goes with 120, and 6 goes with 100. I now have a table, so I can use my calculator, put my x values into L1 and y values into LT2. Some of you might understand, you can see that our y values are decreasing, so we can say, hey, our rate of change has got to be a negative number. So some of you might recognize that if these are decreasing, then my rate of change has to be negative. Rate of change is the number in front of the x, or our slope, and the only one that matches that is b. But we are going to use the calculator just to be sure. So take out your calculator, doing stat again. I want to clear out what is currently in there and input our new values. So L1 is going to be 1 all the way to 6. L2, start at 200, going to 180, 160, 140, 120, and 100. And some of you might even recognize, oh, they're all changing by 20, decreasing by 20. Now I hit stat, go over to calc, number 4 for linear regression, and press enter. And we will see that A is negative 20 and B is 220. So when I write the equation, filling in A and B, we get y equals. For A, we have a negative 20 followed by x, and then B is a positive 220. And sure enough, that is our answer, B. Number 20, we're looking for a line that has a slope of negative 1/4. So that's our M, and passes through the point 4, 1. So let's see which one of these first has a negative slope, meaning it must be decreasing. So A has a negative slope going down. C, let's go with B, that is an increasing slope, so it's no good. C is going down as I read from left to right, and D goes down from left to right. Now let's see which ones go through the point 4, 1. So A will go 4 on the x-axis, 1 on the y. That point is not on that graph. C, 4 on the x-axis, 1 on the y. That point is not on the graph. D, x-axis, we go 4 to the right, up 1. That point is on the graph. My correct answer is D. #21, we're going to write the equation of a line that has an x-intercept of -3 and a y-intercept of +5. So x-intercept of -3, I can write this as a -3, 0. Y-intercept of +5, we can write as 0, 5. Now this problem becomes, I have 2 points and I want to find the equation of a line between those 2 points. So I can use my L1 and L2. My x's go in L1, y goes in L2. It's -3, 0, 0, 5. Bring up the calculator. Hit our stat button. Clear out what is in L1 and what is in L2. Now we'll type in -3 in L1 and 0, L2, 0, and 5. Hit the stat button, go up to calc, number 4, scroll down to calculate, press enter. Now we have a wonderful decimal, and that decimal represents our slope, and we do not like decimals as our slope. We like fractions. So what we have to figure out is, how do I get that decimal into a fraction? So I'm going to retype that decimal, and the main thing you want to do when you have a repeating number is do it all the way across your screen. I don't need the 7 on the end, I just want to go all the way across with the .666. Then I can still use math, enter, enter, and I will get the fraction of 5/3. The alternative is, if it's a multiple choice test, which yours will be, look at the slopes that are given in the equations and the answer choices and type them into your calculator and see which one comes out to be 1.66666. So in one of the equations, we'll have 5/3. You type it in, and then you will see that repeating decimal that you got. Number 22, if the point x6 is a solution to the equation, then what is the value of x? 6 is a y value, so everywhere we see a y, we're going to plug in a 6. And now we're going to solve this equation for x. Do the opposite of -6, so we have to do +6. We still have 2x in the box. 10 plus 6 is 16. Now we'll divide both sides by 2 because we divide by what's in the box, and we get x is equal to 8. So our value of x is equal to 8. Okay, this concludes review number 11.